everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bulletproof Dental Practice Podcast. So a little bit of an intro because this next podcast we recorded back at the American Dental Association podcast booth at the ADA conference in Orlando a couple months ago. And I had to delay it because the guest I was talking to had some timely things about the transition of her practice. So she said, can you wait till December? And of course we obliged, but I'm super excited about this ball of energy, this amazing force of nature, Dr. Simone Ellis. She was absolutely incredible, brought a fresh perspective about her life and her journey. You don't want to miss this one. It was just me, Trey, Tippit, and Simone kicking it. That almost rhymes. I like that. Anyway, stay tuned. Hope you enjoy it. And as always, stay bulletproof, people.
Frame it. Just reframe it.
We had a nice thing going. You got all like
and he got all weird.
I reframed it.
You have a beautiful.
He was watching our moment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I wanted to hijack it.
By the
disrespectful.
way, we are recording, so this moment is for
it's
everyone.
happening.
Oh,
it's happening.
Really
all right,
happening.
guys. I'm
all
excited.
Right. Well, it's Trey and I from the Bulletproof Dental Practice, and we have a new friend to me at least, Dr. Simone Ellis.
Yes.
And I just found out you're a fan, which is crazy.
I am such a fan. You know, like those girls that are like waiting for you on the outside at the concert. You're like, oh my God, it's Craig. Like
oh,
that's
wow.
me.
Okay,
like,
awesome.
That's like Craig at the Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah. Do you want me to sing again, Taylor?
Or like the tall, geeky old man dental conference.
And then I've been a fan of Trey's. I mean, Trey, how did we even meet? I don't even know, but I've been a fan of Trey for like.
Well, as we tell your story, it gets more interesting because we met because I tried to buy your practice.
Yes, he did.
I mean, randomly, it was just listed.
It was just like, hey, come get this stuff.
Oh, yeah. And that turned into a whole
years of like
continuum.
Yes. Trey has been a great, cheerleader, advocate, asset, all the things.
That's awesome.
Love him.
So let's unpack who you are for the listeners that don't know who you are. So I've gotten to know you for probably about 15 minutes, and you're a certified badass. I love you. You came in like a tornado.
Like a wrecking ball?
Yeah, and I'm just like, at first I'm like, okay, I can be myself, and I'm like, oh shit, you're going above and beyond.
She's doing too much.
No, I love it. So you are a practicing dentist,
yes.
And then soon to be not practicing.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out.
Should be.
And then you have a podcast, so let's plug that. Which podcast is it?
So my podcast is called Beyond the Well, let me go back. So my name is Dr. Simone Ellis, this country girl from Kansas City, Kansas.
No
born
way.
and raised. What?
I didn't peg you as country.
I mean, kind of like a country girl, put some barbecue on her, and she barbecues good.
Yeah, but she turned to big city well.
Yeah.
She turned to big city well.
Had to come out of Kansas because Mom was like, ain't nothing here for you, kid. And I was like, all right, well, let's get out of here.
Okay, so KC.
KCK. I went to college in New Orleans, so got the South. So went to Xavier, and that was like the number one school for promoting minorities into medical and dental schools.
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to be a dentist at 7.
Oh, good for
Isn't
you.
this
That's
crazy? My dad was getting a tooth pulled, and I was like, oh, yeah, sign me up for that. If this is what this does, I want that. So the guy was like, come on over here and watch. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Jeez.
And so I went home and told my mom, who was an educator. My dad was a postal worker. My mom was really big into education. She was like, all right, you want to do this in 2nd grade? You're going to be a dentist? Let's see what you're made of. And so I was in every summer science program you can imagine. Went to the best school for helping minorities get into that space because I didn't come from a family that knew anything about dentistry like that. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I didn't. So my mom was like, what's that? And she was like, I want you to be an engineer. Because at that time, engineering was like really big for African-American women to get in. The STEM programs are happening. And I was like, Ma, I don't like physics. And she was like, I don't care what you like. And I was like, I still don't like physics. So I went to physics science programs. I was like, I'm going to fail. Can I cuss on here? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah.
No fucking cussing.
Okay. So
yeah.
No fucking cussing?
No,
okay, great.
no.
Perfect. So I was like, I don't
know.
know.
No, it has an E on it. And I can't, I've gotten so much shit about cussing, but I just can't help myself.
my God,
I just cussed on the ADA thing we're doing here.
Well, you definitely can't do that.
I did it already.
Yeah,
It's done.
we did.
I did
you guys
it.
are banned from ADA.
It's okay.
Forever.
It's okay.
Forever today.
Till next time.
Thank you, ADA. It was great. It was
I always say I cuss, but I love Jesus. So I was like,
I feel the same way.
The fuck, I can't do this. And so she was like, yeah, you're going to be physical. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So I decide I'm going in dentistry. I go to UMD&J, a.k.a. Rutgers now.
Okay.
And I come out, and I'm like, I'm going to open my office. Like 2009, I'm going to open my office in 1 year. And I did that shit. And what is crazy is that I did that shit. And I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Good for you.
I was falling on my face. I was just like, what is this, right? And I go to sell my practice. This is 3 years into opening my office.
Okay, so 3 years, like, fuck this, I can't handle it.
I was like, what the fuck is this? And, like, I'm married at the time, and my husband was like, you're a horrible wife. And I'm like, I'm a horrible human. Like, let's just be very clear, like, on all the things.
Let's take inventory of everything you're failing at. You're failing as a wife.
I'm failing as a wife.
You're failing a dentist.
Oh, and
what are you winning at that point?
Nothing.
Oh,
No,
that's
not true. Because when I walked into your office, she said everything's a disaster, except for on the wall, Dental Economics wrote a piece on how well she opened her office.
Okay, so a little bit of imposter syndrome.
So we got
I
an
feel
article.
Like a failure. Dental Economics thinks I'm
that
like
is true.
Yeah, that's even worse, by the way, because like you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
And like I'm on the cover of a magazine.
Still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah. It's like everything's fine.
Club.
It's the emoji in the background. Everything's fine. Yeah. Everything's fine.
I hope this that meme. I hope this email finds you well. How does this email find me? You're like, oh fuck up.
It's totally that. So I get with the seller, and they're like, yeah, I got this guy. But in the same process, what's happening, Trey was such a light, and also the guy was a light too. And he was basically like calling me out on my shit. He was like, you don't know business. Like, you don't know what you don't know. And in so many words, I think of an ostrich. It was like her ass is sitting all the way up, but the head is in the sand.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I don't know what I don't know. And that moment, that exchange was like, it's one thing to sell and you really like have done everything that you could do. It's a whole nother thing to sell and have no idea of what you're selling and why you're selling it.
Yeah, you were bailing. You were bailing instead of actually making an intentional decision.
And so it was like, basically in so many words, get your shit together. And that was exactly what I did. So I started taking small business courses. Trey came in, looked at my office, and he was like, why the fuck do you have all these birds? And I was like, I don't know. I need all these birds to do all these things. And he was like, you absolutely don't need all these birds to do all these things. And he's like, this is what a cassette looks like. And I'm like, a cassette? And he's like, yeah, this is how every procedure is exactly the same. And I was like, oh my God, he is speaking so much truth. Yeah. And at the time also too, to highlight you as well, this is where I start hearing about the automobile MBA from Zig Ziglar. I don't know if
I don't know that now.
It says that in 2 years, if you listen to something like for 2 years while you're commuting, you will have an MBA in whatever it is.
That's so true.
And so I was like, I commute about 25, 30 minutes to work. Let's start finding podcasts. This is before podcasts are like podcasting. You know, let's find them. And I come across Bulletproof, and I'm like,
what year was that?
Oh, my God. This had to be in like, we just talked about this, like,
16
16, 17. Like,
so when we started Bulletproof, you started listening?
I was following you guys.
When was the Houston Summit?
I don't know. Don't make me look bad while we're on live recording. I don't know no shit. Like
I
just had to do it
with
with Simone.
I celebrate you, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how many episodes we've done."
I think we did it. I'm not sure.
What are you talking about? You were amazing. I was like, "Can we have you?" He's like, "Yeah, people talk shit about me." I was like, "Let me tell you, I want to celebrate how awesome you guys have because it was voices in my car. Your voices, you and your partner, were like really saving me in so many
That's
sense.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so it was, you were talking about basically no nonsense, but like holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
And I love that because I think that a lot of times in our industry, it's like let me like make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Let me have soft skills. And it's like, well, no, like, are you really doing the work? There are people out here that are really crushing it, doing well. There are people who are struggling. The ones that are struggling, a lot of times when we look at it, it's systems and strategies that they don't have.
Yeah.
But they don't have the acknowledgement or the accountability or somebody holding them accountable and saying, but you're not really doing the work.
Yeah. You need someone being that authenticity that tells you.
Yeah. And you also need to have the ego that's like, I can receive that. And that was what I was getting. It was like, girl, like you're actually doing well, but you don't know how to do it. So from that moment on, we just skyrocketed. Like I literally took everything that I was getting information-wise. I held myself accountable. I invested in me heavily. I invested in my team heavily. And we went from doing, I don't know, like definitely less to $1 million. We just started growing. And then we're hitting the $2 million mark. And then we approached on the 3. And so it was like, now trust me, this is Harvey's happening, right? Floods are happening. Freezes are happening, right? These are all things that are happening. COVID's happening. And I don't want to make it seem like in the process, when I started getting my shit together, I get divorced because I was a trash-ass wife. Like, let's call it what it was. I didn't know how to separate work, life, or balance. I was
Was it really that you were not a great wife, or did you grow apart? Like, if you could rewind it, though. If you could rewind it, and I'm sure he'll never listen to this. He's not a dentist, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, like, and actually, we're like cool. Like, I mean, because I was like, you were a shitty husband, I was a shitty wife. It was just what it was.
So it is what it is.
We were kids. right?
Yeah.
I got married at I was a child bride. I was 18, 19
no
when
way.
I got
Okay,
together.
Yeah.
We got married at 25, but we were together at 18,
Right,
19,
yeah, but
right?
when
So,
you meet someone at 18, you're not done growing.
Yeah.
So if God has you grow exactly the same direction, you're blessed. But
Correct.
normally, an 18-year-old to a 25-year-old, two different people.
We're totally two
Yeah.
different people.
Yeah.
I see him at homecoming, and I'm like, bro, I can't even believe I married you. Can you believe this stuff? I don't even know who you are. What is going on? It's fun, but we totally didn't know that. And then also, too, as an entrepreneur, you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it, right?
Yeah, I say that all the time.
I had no clue what was going on. So as far as being a wife, and I'll say this because I know I'm speaking to two gentlemen and I love you guys, but what I think happens for women, unfortunately, is there's a code switching that has to happen in the commute. I talk about from the car to home. Somehow I have to be a boss bitch at the office, and then in that commute home, I need to embrace some sort of femininity to be a wife. I didn't know how to do that, nor did I even know that was a responsibility or an expectation.
I'm really happy you're talking about this, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to double click on that because I think that a lot of women have it especially hard now.
Yeah.
Especially hard. The man's role has not really changed.
Yeah.
It's always been ingrained to us to be productive and blah, 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 and provide. Women, especially a person like yourself who's a professional woman, it's a very yin and yang, right, left brain thing. If you're staying at home and you're, working and supporting or looking for a husband, you're a gold digger at the one extreme.
Yep.
And then you're a boss bitch. You're not this cold bitch. And who the hell are you? You have to walk a fine frickin' line. And if you fall on one side, there's pressure. There's women out there that are like, oh, yeah, it must be, your kids are being raised by a nanny. Yeah. Oh, you want to do that. And their judgment. And then on the other side, oh, you don't have 4 offices yet? So it's this really delicate, how do you work being a perfect woman?
I mean,
and it's so obscure. It's really freaking hard.
It's an identity shift and to no level, right? And especially when no one is really having that conversation.
Right.
So remember, all this is happening. Social media isn't a thing for real, like it is now. So I'm just sitting here how the hell in a commute am I supposed to change my whole entire identity? I just fired somebody, and that's a lot of masculine or dominant energy that's going on here. And
I am so
to,
freaking happy.
Yes.
I can't keep my mouth shut. I'm just so happy about what you're saying.
Yeah,
I really want to go through the masculine and feminine energy, if you don't mind. I
let's
really
do
want to
it.
do that.
Yeah.
Let me ask this real quick, though.
Don't derail us, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's he
Craig,
going?
sit down, sit down. No.
Should I leave?
From the standpoint of that, are there resources to kind of guide you through that?
Yeah, I think now.
Because that's a really, like you said, it's a dynamic, interesting topic.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem.
Oh, God, yeah. And I think that it's now being conversations. I didn't even know what feminine energy was. Who's talking about that?
Where did you learn this?
So, honestly, I'm going to have to highlight Trey again. This is crazy. Now this is really a good moment. So I'm dating now because now I'm single, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, what the hell? Remind you, I'm a child bride, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I got out the game when phones weren't even a thing, for real.
Right.
So now you want to text me my whole life story? Is this how we're going to date? I got to text you, what my favorite
swipe,
color?
is it left or right? I'm not sure. Is right mean I like you, left
right
mean?
now?
Yeah.
Can somebody help me here? I'm floundering. I'm and I don't know, we go eat somewhere. And you were talking about, Simone, just take it kind of easy. You're just overthinking. And I was like, Trey, I don't even know how to fucking think this thing through. And you go,
Sure.
Have you heard of the Charisma Myth? It's a book. I need you to read that book. You know how Trey says it in his comment. I need you to read this book. And I go, okay, fine. That book was so transformative. It was more of starting how to be charismatic. I naturally was charismatic in general, but I don't think I knew how to hone in on it. And that started the discovery of, well, if charisma is one thing, YouTube, let's look up charisma. And then femininity came in. So it was almost like looking up charisma. The soft side came. So I know how to flirt now with the best of them. I know how to get that energy. But I also realize why women struggle with this is because when we were demanding equal rights, right, we did not take anything off the plate. And I make this joke all the time. It was yes, we want to be women that have jobs and we want to have all this power. And we were like, guys, give it to us. And you guys were like, all right, cool. But we never said, but for that, I need this to be removed off my plate as well. Because think about it. Our plates got doubled. Your plates stayed the same.
Our plates stayed the same.
So we never talked about, and in the process of me pursuing a career, I may not be able to cook dinner every single night there.
Right.
And
but we're also talking about an American gender thing more than anything
Traditional
else.
roles.
You go to other parts of the world, and the roles have not been so extremely separated.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so women can get, we call it the feminine bag, right? You
Yeah.
can get into your bag like with the essence of, if you want me to be soft, I can't have this entire like dominant, extreme personality and stay in that space. It's very hard, or at least it's hard for me. And usually when I start talking about this, women are like, oh my God, she's speaking the truth. And I'm like, yeah, because it's really tough for us to be, let me get my hair down my nose, and the sensual soft side, it's very hard to be in that and also be this very dominant boss handler getting stuff done. It's very different. And so I struggled. And I think that to that point was part of my contributing factor to the failed marriage. There were other things. Unfortunately, we started facing infertility very early on, right? And so that's another thing that we had. And
what a hot button, by the way. I just want to touch on that. So, like men, what I've noticed, and I'm no expert on this stuff, but I know that we all have masculine and feminine energy, and a powerful person accesses all of it. So, like I use my feminine energy, I use my masculine energy. So it's not this binary like thing where it's like you're all masculine, all feminine. But also, like I think for men, one of the hot buttons is productivity. So if a man is not a producer, if he's not making money, if he's not generating, he feels extremely like his core purpose is in jeopardy. He gets rattled to the core. My female friends, when they have infertility, it's the same thing. It rattles their purpose. They are like, I am not worthy. I am not good enough. It brings up serious shit. So the same way a man will off himself for not being productive and have all these other mental things, it's a fertility thing for women. We have to respect that and understand it. Because I'm just like, hey, maybe we'll try. It's fun to try. No worries. No. This is a core thing. It really brings up a lot.
You were spot on. And get this. Let me blow your mind even more. We were dealing with infertility on both sides.
Yeah.
Man and female.
Also, if you don't mind me prying too, was he as productive at work as you were?
He was a pharmacist, doctor.
Okay, got it. But was he as productive, like generating?
No.
So that's the other kick in the ass
Crazy,
too.
Right?
So when men, statistics, I'm not saying my opinion, I've heard this, when a woman outproduces money or whatever than a man, it sets up a lot of crazy shit.
It's just shit that we don't even think about.
I know, but like there must be some sort of wiring or programming that the man is meant to provide. And I'm not speaking to my opinion. I'm just saying that when women out-earn their male spouses, they, erectile dysfunction, like crazy shit happens. Like it's like wow, we want a boss bitch, but like we want to. I don't know if we do or not. And by the way, these are three dentists just spitballing about. We have no fucking idea what we're talking about. So these are just the opinions.
No, I think that I don't know if we do or we don't.
I don't either.
Because here's the
thing.
Well,
it's in your mind and your heart. What do you want in your mind, and what do you feel, and what do you need?
And there's outliers to all of this, right?
Course.
You got
guys
that
you're challenging gender roles in general, and it's all the things we just talked about, y'all just mentioned, are all exactly that. It's outside the realm of what you expect. The traditional masculinity, the traditional femininity, the stress to each one of those, and it's taking you out of your identity.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And he was a 9-to-5er. That's what I call him, which is not a problem, right? He was an employee. Yeah, he was an employee.
Yeah, so his job starts at 5:01. He's done. And at 5 o'clock, you're like, what's going on in my marketing? What about, my hygienist quit? You're like, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, you were a 24/7 entrepreneur.
And a beginning 24/7.
Yeah.
Right?
Was there a misunderstanding of the effort you're putting in?
I think that there wasn't I don't think there was a misunderstanding. I just think there was a lack of understanding.
The lack of understanding, okay.
There was no confusion about how this commitment to it is. Like, it was just like, and again, I don't fault this person for it, because I think that, again, he signed up for the college girl. He signed up for
18-year-old Simone. Simone 1.0.
And Simone was growing.
Yeah.
And
as she is now. She is now, yeah.
So fast forward to now, I'm not only dealing with infertility, I'm dealing with divorce. My dad dies a week later after I get divorced unexpectedly, right?
I'm sorry to hear that. How old was he?
62.
Oh, yeah, way too young. Yeah.
Young. Had a stroke. I'm in a training with my team, and they're calling me like, your dad had a stroke. And I'm like, that's weird. Let me just, you guys do the training. Let me go. And then I get to the hospital. He's fine. My dad was such a crazy person. You think my personality is crazy? That guy was hilarious so many ways. And so he's just fighting the nurses, flirting with them, and fighting with them with a stroke. And I was like, Dad, like, I can't do this today. And I leave him, and my last words was like, get your shit together. I love you. I'll be back. And that was the last time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And so this is all happening, though, while you're still growing and building a practice. And that's what I think, that's why I push so heavy on what I talk about now. It's just that work-life balance, because clearly there were so many things that were out of control. And
so
life
at that point, Simone, was that the low point for you?
Oh, that was me ripping my skin off if I could.
Was that bottom?
That was the worst that I think anybody could ever go through. Okay. I'm going through, so it's psychologically, you have 5 major Ds that you'll go through possibly in life that will destroy you. Death, disease, divorce, depression. This is all happening. I have 4 of the 5 at once in a 2-month time span.
What's the 5th?
I don't know, because I hope I never have it.
We got to make that up.
She didn't have it.
I didn't have it, so I was like.
We got to make it up.
There's got to be one she didn't have, though.
Yeah, so. It's just like, I just.
She don't want 5.
Let's just call it diphtheria for now.
Yeah,
you didn't have that.
That
so you know
bad.
the Bible, Job, right? I'm like in it heavy. I'm like, I'm Job. I'm walking.
Good
Job.
that you had a spiritual analogy to help you through it.
I was like, is this what you did, God? Like, then listen, let's be very clear. Remember, Job got it back 7 times. Well, run me my check. Like, I need everything that I'm losing at this moment, because it was at that point where I'm in a corner trying to pull off my skin.
Oh, poor thing.
Like,
I'm sorry.
The pain is that hard.
Did you have a conscious decision at that point in time, like a moment that you remember where you feel like I'm turning this around? Or was this a gradual process as you started to see you're at the bottom and you're going to start coming out of the bottom, out of the trough, so to speak?
I think that what I will attribute my parents to being amazing humans about was that I just saw tenacity. I saw perseverance. I saw that consistently in my life. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I even knew that there was a way other than to get it together at some point, right? I don't know if I had a awakening moment. I just think that I knew that this could not be my last conversation with myself. There was a suicide moment for myself even, because I was like, this is not it.
So what does that look like, if you don't mind?
I'm in the car with a gun.
No freaking way.
I'm in a car with a gun.
Have you ever spoken about this before?
No.
Oh, well, listen, I know we've gone deep quick.
Yeah, but I mean.
And I think that it's really important, because your vulnerability and your transparency, I applaud you for it.
Thank you.
But we as human beings, this is the human experience. Yeah. It's a human experience. It's not a Simone or Trey or Craig experience.
Yeah.
And there's people listening to this right now, unfortunately, that know this level of pain.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in dentistry. And I think it's just really important, just knowing that you're not alone. If you're listening, knowing you're not alone, and that other people who are extremely successful have had troughs that were that deep, is permission to say, okay, I can get through this.
Yeah.
And imagine if you were listening to this, and just happened to be in the car, thinking what you're thinking, and these words are coming to you right now. You would have put it down and say, okay, I'm in the darkest of dark, but there's always light.
Yes.
You can come out of those troughs.
You can come out of those troughs, and you will.
Yep.
And if you could wave a magic wand, Simone, if I could wave a magic wand over you and take away every bit of pain you've ever felt, I wouldn't do it to you, because you wouldn't be this version of who you are 100%. Today without that.
Yeah.
So as much as I care about you, and you're a lovely, radiant human being, I would not want to take that away from you, because I'd be robbing you of everything you have now. And what you have is greatness. You come into this room like a fucking blast of light.
Energy.
I'm like, who the hell? What is going on? Like, I'm so happy you're in my life. Seriously. I'm like, I love this.
I'm so happy we're meeting.
No, but it's just, you wash over people, and you're such a beautiful human.
Thank you.
And without all that pain, and I believe, and I just want to go on a little monologue, I'm sorry, but I believe suffering is a trough, obviously, and pleasure is a height, is the height of the trough. And in order to experience the full gamut of life, you have to stretch the vessel of which you can carry emotion.
Yeah.
So all that happened during your trough is the bottom stretched than the top. So the amplitude of depth created an amplitude of height. So now you carry so much more, and the radiance that you have, and the energy, and the life, and the God spirit, or whatever you want to call it, that you have now is because of that.
Thank you.
So all the things you suffered through, I'm thankful.
Yeah.
Because now you get to influence your podcast and the things you do, and you're influencing us and our audience. It's very fucking cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's beautifully said.
Yeah.
That amplitude goes from the bottom all the way to the top.
Right.
And, I mean, and we'll get there as you continue the story, but look at you now.
I know.
Yeah,
how
crazy.
awesome.
I
And
know.
the reason
You're the celebration queen.
kidding.
Like, I hope you celebrate.
No, it's too bad we're not on video, because you got to see what she's wearing.
Yeah,
We look drab.
And it's like,
We
no.
drab.
We look good. We look
Thank
good.
Well, we look good.
I'm going to take a
for sure,
selfie
but
and drop this.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm dropping.
She looks better.
Post-production, we're doing a little selfie here.
There
Ready?
we go. There we go.
Okay, sorry. We're dropping that
So
in.
I love it. I love it.
The reason I ask about Was it a defined moment that you feel like, maybe it's you sitting in the car, or maybe it's just that trough. You've experienced the trough, and then you start to see little things here or there that will be gradual. Is because one of the things I noticed when I first met you, and when we talked about me coming into your office, and I sit down and say, hey, get rid of the burrs, get rid of these instruments. This is what I'm pretty sure you did it the next day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you talk about someone who implements, which is so rare, because now you see. And I can only imagine you with the mobile MBA. You start listening to something, you hear it, you seem like the person that goes immediately into the office, starts to gauge it, and then get it done. And I know we talk about, especially with Mastermind, I'm sure you see this with people you're working with as well. A lot of times it's, hey, do this, and then you wait.
Yeah,
you come back and say, hey, do this, and you wait. And no one really goes to implement because there's a big disconnect between theory and implementation, or strategy and the learner and the doer. Yeah. So someone like you is I mean, you go get it.
Well, we don't have time to waste, right? Like I'm very serious about that. When you lose somebody unexpectedly, like literally you're just like, oh, okay. It's an awakening that you always have, that you're like, well, I don't have time to play with you. I don't take this moment right now that we're sitting in this space lightly. The reason why I don't take it lightly is that you could be doing anything else in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Shout out to Jay-Z. But it's really a moment, right? It's like I don't take, so when you took your time out to come into my office, I think it would be disrespectful for me to just mismanage your time. I take that time very seriously, that you thought enough about me. And when we're consulting or speaking with people or listening, you think enough about that person to really be in that moment with that person. So everything that you have to give to me, everything that you have to offer to me, I'm serious about that. I mean that wholeheartedly. When you were speaking up there, when you just sucked me, hey, change your mindset, that'll be the last time I say that. Because I don't take for granted that your moment, us being here right now, that is a very intentional, ordained, whatever that is. So that's why I took it seriously. I take everything seriously.
It's funny we're talking about this, by the way, because last night, right?
Yeah.
Trey's like, so what's up with you? What's the next thing for you? What's up? And I'm like, honestly, I'm just trying to be here, having dinner with you, and I'm just trying to really enjoy this, and cheers to you, and thanks for being here with me. And then tomorrow I get to be podcasting. And you even said to me, like, hey, what about the celebration? So, celebrate 300 or whatever episodes. I'm like, I'm just looking to have a great conversation with you. I know you now I know you better, but like, I love your energy. I'm meeting a new friend, and there's going to be something we talk about that's going to be helpful for somebody that's listening.
Yeah.
And look at what God has for us, or whatever you want to call it. There's some divine order that has us talking about this. We had no agenda. We're just getting on and talking shit.
No run-off show. Nothing whatever, right? But I will
cool.
say this, though. The reason I'm big on celebrations are also because I did not celebrate all these milestones that I was having, right? We go to the next thing. We're on the next thing. We're on the next thing. And I'm like, no. Every day when I had 3 organs fused together. I was taking Vicodin every hour on the hour. Do you understand?
When was this? This is
all in that same time.
Oh, so you had 4 of the happening, right? Oh, shit. So and then when did the divorce happen?
Like maybe 3 weeks before that.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, God, if you wanted to write it, did you write it out just like this? Like, because let me tell you, I would have been sitting there like, that's a lot for this girl to handle. And it's all happening. So I'm sitting in my mom's house because I can't freaking move. Do you understand why I sprint now? Why when I work out, I run. I do runs. I do sprints. I am so grateful that I know what it feels like to be able to move.
Yep.
Because there were moments that I could not move. My dad was a runner, so some moments, and it's a kind of special moment where if I'm sprinting, not all the time, but sometimes I get just the smell of who my father was as I'm running the sprint.
When you say smell, what do you mean?
Yeah, my dad had a distinct smell.
Yeah, the nostalgia.
It's just like a nostalgia moment.
Yeah, it's the most emotional of all the stuff.
That's
beautiful.
Yeah, you see me.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel it because I'm on the and I run sprint. So I'm running super fast for 30 seconds. I stop. I'm like level 10 or 11 on the treadmill, and I built myself up. There was a moment where I couldn't even walk. Do you understand? I could not walk. Yeah. I could not walk. I am so grateful that I get a chance to go work out. My idea of celebration, I celebrate everything. Everything. I celebrate being here. The fact that they saw my podcast and wanted me here. I just started that 6 months ago. Yeah. How dope is that? I'm at ADA. This is a little black girl from Kansas. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I feel the same way. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a little black girl from Kansas, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like blessed to be here. Like,
You can totally be my girl from Kansas.
Really?
I
have what it takes.
I'm trying to decide where to go.
You and I, once a week, we'll just get together. First step is this. Second step is this. I mean, my music doesn't have to change.
All you got to do is the weave.
No.
It'll get rid of the grays.
I will.
It'll get rid of his grays.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Offline, we'll talk about that.
I love it.
I need some help.
I love it. My beautician will get you. She's got you.
So tell me, like with all this, all the struggle and all this growth and this energy and this desire to help people, what is driving you now? Like, what do you want to accomplish over the next 3 years? What would be a success?
First, I don't want you to walk into a dental space without hearing my name, and I'm serious about that.
And why?
Well, one, I think that we're an industry that, this is what I feel like my life mantra is. My goal is to make people smile mentally, physically, and emotionally. I do it physically, right? I'm a dentist, right?
Yeah.
I want you to, when you see me, I want you to be like, oh, she brought a smile to my face. I want to inspire. I want to bring light and love into all that I do. So I think that, one, dentists, unfortunately, a lot of healthcare professionals are like, we get into this bubble, and it's a hard bubble. Like, dentistry is hard. I don't care what anybody says. It's physically demanding. It's mentally. It's when you walk into the office, I tell my team this. I'm like, I am only in calculus today. Guys, you have got me in 6 different subjects. I mean, it is literally like, parlez-vous français? Hey, can you do this math problem?
Dance with me.
And I'm like, literally my brain is like, what is processing? We are switching subjects like so freaking fast in the office. So what my goal is that first we start off with getting your life together. Like, let's really talk about, what do you want out of life? No one did that to me. Anything, they pushed me to be a hard worker. I got that down. Most dentists can take a CE class. They're going to CE the shit out of education. That's what they're going to do, right?
You have a problem, you just need to do a crown prep.
Just do a crown prep.
I'm unfulfilled. Here's how to do 3-minute endo. No, you didn't hear me. I'm unfulfilled. Yeah, but here's a 2-minute endo. Here's an implant. Learn how to do implant. I'll work out.
What is that?
Yeah. We have a blunt solution, a one-size-fits-all approach in dentistry.
That doesn't work.
We don't have training. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We get out. We're being told by everybody in this exhibit hall to open your own practice. Oh, here's money. Banks love us loaning money. Here's a whole bunch of money. Here's the 10 chairs because you want to expand. And then all of a sudden you realize, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I don't know
and
what
then
I'm
you're
doing.
suffering alone. And you feel like I'm an idiot because I go on Instagram. Everybody's full Arch Friday. I haven't done a full Arch since February. What's wrong with me? Am I not good enough?
Yeah.
That sucks.
But you touched on the loneliness too.
Yeah.
It's lonely.
It's so lonely. And I'm like,
who do you relate to?
Silly. Like, I'm not about to, I'm like, no. Like,
and then add the woman, then add the female stuff on top of it all. So thank God you didn't have kids at the time.
Thank God I didn't have kids. Yeah. I'm not trying to be funny, but that wasn't my calling. Like, I know that I'm not.
No, at that specific time, that would have been really tough.
That would have been
because now you're married to a guy that you know is not going to work out. You have children, and now you're feeling like I'm a shitty ass mother. I'm a shitty dentist. Like,
I'm a horrible human.
Yeah, it's so freaking tough.
I thank God now when I see my niece and nephew, I'm like, all right, God, you knew what you were doing. Like, because I love them. I'm the rich auntie. I am hands down like, what do you want? Like the memes where they're throwing the money at the kids.
The one with the credit card.
I'm like, yeah, whatever you want. And then here, and then they start hiding. I don't know what's happening. Go back to your mom. Go back to your dad.
Give them fun dip sugar.
Yeah,
and just
I'm like,
I don't know what's wrong with them.
Oh, yeah. When you come to my house, we are eating every fucking thing. We are doing
it's good
cookies,
for business,
Why not?
That's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Job
security. Yeah.
I'm
sticky.
Halloween.
Yeah,
she's sticking around.
Yeah.
Her practice.
Are you
will
the
be
type that had like taffy in the waiting room to pull up people's crowns?
I'm like, you want soda? Here you go.
Yeah, here's Mountain Dew.
And then
Switch
I'm
it
in the
around.
room and like, why are you drinking 10 cans of soda?
It's like when we ask patients in the chair, like, how's life going? Really good. Sorry, sir, don't talk.
Don't talk right now.
I'm bonding. So anyway, what do you got plans for the summer? Yeah. No, don't talk, sir.
Why are you moving your tongue so much? It's a lot of saliva. Slow down, guys.
Yeah.
My goal is like, I want to first so I do 3 things. The first thing I do is one-on-one coaching, and I only take 10 clients a year. The reason why.
Do you have room for me? You have room for me?
I don't know. Let's see. Like,
okay, maybe
it's
expensive. Me in 2027.
It's expensive.
It is expensive. Yeah. Pay me. That's what I'm not. I have expertise.
Yeah. Buy your way in, Craig.
Buy your way.
There's 2 ways to pay. You want to go through pain, or you want to pay with money? Have it your way. Have it your way. 3 currencies in life: emotion, time, and money. You want to spend emotion and time? I'm not your person.
Yes.
Just want to pay some money and get through this shit quick. Let's bring you.
Let's do it.
That's bulletproof too. I'm like, you don't need bulletproof. You can learn how I learned. And how Trey learned. I mean, we all had pain.
But no, here's the reality. We pay people for their expertise.
Yeah.
And I have invested a lot. Not just my life, but I've actually financially invested. So I have the one-on-one coaching. Like I said, I only take 10 clients a year. And the goal behind that is we start off with, we have 4 models. They're each broken up into quarters. We start off with life.
Yeah.
It's a 12-week life program, and we literally go, you have a session outline, you have a client worksheet. I am not playing with my time again. So if you want to be my client, I have 4 rules. I am not your personal coach. That's not a thing. I'm here to literally guide you on how to get your life together so you can be an amazing dentist, you can be an amazing human for this industry. So I have 12 weeks there. Then we move into work. What are your goals for work? Let's get that actually written down. I love when people say, oh, I want to learn how to do a CE class. Oh, great. How are you going to implement this when you go back into the office? I need to literally see if you're going to master Invisalign, what are you going to do on Monday when you go back to this office? And this needs to make sense. This needs to make sense from a training perspective with your team. This needs to make sense from a goal-setting standpoint. Like when I speak with Invisalign, I'm amazed at how people are like, I want to be a platinum provider. How many cases does it take to be platinum? Oh, I don't know. How many cases are you going to do for the week? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, did you just come up with this out of the
Yeah, no specificity, no clarity.
You're grabbing for it.
No clarity.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So let me ask a quick question before you go too far down the path. Your first 12 weeks is about basically lifestyle.
Yes.
Do you even discuss the business, the practice, dentistry?
I mean, it comes up, but it's like time management.
But it's pushed to the side because now you're talking about the bigger. What are the pillars of that 12-week piece?
Yeah, we're planning with the end in mind, truly.
Good.
Sure.
What do you want your life to look like?
Amen. Thank God you're saying that, because
How rare is that?
It's so rare.
How rare
because
is that?
That's what I think
it's
is
so needed.
It's so needed because at Bulletproof the same thing. We don't want, like, you hear these things like I want to have 5 offices. Well, why? Well, because I want to, get to 8 and then I sell it. Okay, well, then what? Then I buy the boat. And then what? I'm having champagne models and bottles, whatever. Okay, for how long? And no one knows the hell they're talking about. So people think that money's going to solve all your problems. Money just solves your money problems. And in the beginning, we all had money problems. We had student loans. Yeah. We opened an office. We took out a lot of money. And shit, we have how am I going to make payroll? So you figure for the rest of your life, it's just money. And it's not. Money is really important. I'm a capitalist. I love money. Money's a tool. But at the end of the day, I think what most people really, really want is they want freedom, and they don't really know how to say that. If you have an amazing watch and it's gorgeous, but it tells you what time you have to be somewhere, that's not a flex. The flex is freedom. At least for me.
Say that louder for the people in the back.
You can rewind it because I don't know what the fuck I just said. No, but
the flex is freedom.
Yeah, the flex is freedom.
He's on a roll. But he blacked out.
No, but that is what I really think. And most Americans, I have to say Americans because we have a worldwide audience. I think we're literally a very different species as Americans. We love to just America, for as bad as we can say there's problems, we are the land of opportunity. You can be a girl like you from KC and get all the way to the ADA. Look what you did in 10 years, 12 years? That's crazy. If you're born in other parts of the world, that opportunity is not available for you.
Right.
So the problem, it's a blessing, but it's a curse. Because now you can literally, where do you stop? Where's the end? When is it done? You just said, I'm not stopping till I don't walk into a dental place and they have to know my name.
But
that's big.
But let's be clear. I'm very much so my work-life balance is heavy, heavy. I just came back from a personal trip that I took, a solo trip to Singapore and Bali. I'm on my 40th country. I was like, I want to get to 40 countries by 40. I travel like crazy.
Good.
And the reason is because exactly like what you're talking about. On the west side of the world versus the eastern side of the world, it is we have it wrong.
Yeah, we do.
When you listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he talks about all of the planets in this, what is it, billions? And we're sitting over here with these stupid problems. Another alien would come from this planet and be like, what the hell are y'all doing over here? We don't have it together. So I also recognize my freedom is important to me. It's a non-negotiable for me. My time with my family, I don't play about that. But it took me going through all of the drama, all of the trauma to see that, okay, what is important to me? And dentists, I don't think we ask those questions. So that's why I start there. Not about the money. What do you want your life to look like? Does that mean you taking your kids to school every single day? If that is important to you, we will build everything around that.
And by the way, dentistry is beautiful in that it allows you to maximize and build a practice for exactly what you want.
Yes.
So to the working mother out there that has 2 kids, and it's really important that she gets out at 3 every day, you can build that practice exactly how you want it. It might not be 7 locations in 2 years, but you can build what you want.
And why 7 locations? Why 5? Why 3?
Yeah.
Like,
because everyone is saying that's what you should do. Everyone's telling you that's what you should do.
And then they're also not living the life that you have to live.
Right. You get everything you want, you wind up fucking miserable. It's the ultimate failure.
And it's like, stop shouting into the noise. Like, I want you to I just started doing this. I didn't even have quiet time. Do you understand?
That's difficult.
Do you understand, like, the brain like mine, you can already tell it's, like, going a mile a minute. I didn't know what I wanted because I wasn't sitting with myself being quiet. Like, I didn't even know. The moment that I started having planned quiet time, and I'm not talking about a 10-minute meditation because that's cute for all of the social. I'm literally talking about spending a day with yourself and figuring out in the noise. It takes 2 hours for us to actually kind of settle in because our brain wants to continually move around. So if you're only giving yourself 10 minutes, you haven't had enough time to really be clear. Psychologically,
you haven't decompressed.
Are you traveling alone sometimes?
This is the first time I'm starting to do this. My husband went to Croatia, and
oh, you have a new husband?
Yeah, I have a new husband.
Okay, good.
Because I'm a boss bitch, and I could have another husband.
Yeah. You mean you could have another one addition to this one?
I mean, actually, we just were talking about this. Now what I've told my husband is listen, this doesn't work out. You bring your girlfriend, I'll bring my boyfriend. We're not getting divorced. I'm not doing divorce.
Okay,
again,
got it.
Because that's not a thing.
We'll make it work.
We're going to make this thing work.
You'll be as happy as you can
be. I think they call this heteroflexible, right?
I think it's called open marriage. I think it's called
we're
multiple,
getting deep.
like,
We're getting
all of the
deep.
things.
Wow.
I'm joking. I'm like,
I think you are joking.
I'm totally
I think you're joking.
But I'm just like, this to me, he's so.
My wife's from Puerto Rico, so just so for the record, I don't agree with what she just said. I want to
put
say
that on.
I'll be killed.
Put that
I
on
will
paper.
be killed. Like her uncle Julio with the teardrop in his eye, teardrop tattoo. I'm watching out for him. Like my wife does not play.
I'm not here for disrupting any marriage concept. My joke is more of like, I want to do life with this guy. Like, this is my life partner.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to
tell me a little bit about him. I don't want to hijack.
So he's IT, completely, totally different than me. Introverted, like chill. He allows me to be me.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
And I need
imagine 2 of you.
Could you imagine that?
Woof.
It's like
2 of
my
me.
dad.
Like, yeah.
I'm sitting with it.
Yeah.
I know. Trey, do me a favor. Can you get us some coffee? Because
I'll be right back.
I'm really
I'll be right back.
here.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
What do you want? You want to drink? What do you want?
We need the Treys in our world to mellow us out, right?
Hey, listen, it's 5 minutes to noon.
I'm a really good listener.
It's 5 minutes to noon, so we can have our first drink.
I love
Trey,
it.
That's true.
Be a stud and get us 2 beers.
That's what we need to do.
Mimosas are definitely happening.
Mimosas, yeah. Shit, this will go on for 5 hours.
Yeah. I got to be respectful of your time. When are you on? What's your next gig?
I am working with Listerine right now. They're just checking my stuff after
Oh, shit,
lunch,
we could drink the Listerine. I've seen people do
that.
It is
alcohol. But no, we will not do that because it is a clinically approved brand.
Oh, wow. This podcast sponsored by?
I actually do love Listerine, though. So that's why it's easy to work with. It's easy to work with brands that you like, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
You want to do what you believe in.
Hey, can I just ask you a question? Why is it colored? Because if it stains a white T-shirt, doesn't it stain your teeth?
No, I think it's those pretty things that we love. We like what we see.
Okay,
visually,
like Lucky Charms.
Beautiful.
Do you eat the brown part or you eat the colored part?
Lucky Charms. I'm really grateful to say I don't eat Lucky Charms. No offense. If you're sponsored by Procter & Gamble, we have to edit this whole shit out.
That's garbage.
Because it's probably likely that Listerine does own Lucky Charms too.
You just offended every person under the age of 8.
Definitely Marshmallow
Lucky Charms is not okay. What the fuck is up with that?
I love Lucky Charms. The little marshmallows.
You can't feed kids that crap.
Okay, so you're like one of these holistic guys.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. No, I want to eat chocolate.
They're eating Raisin Bran at that house. Grape nuts.
Raisin Bran. You think that's grape nuts and Raisin Bran?
Here's Raisin Bran, then he picks the raisins out.
It's like,
you eat
that.
that.
All of these things you just said are terrible for you. I don't know. Well, we're going way off. What's the title of this podcast? Like depression, the 4Ds.
A random girl from Kansas comes in and
talks
4Ds,
talks smack about breakfast cereal.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Sponsored by.
That's right.
Put a little Listerine in your Lucky Charms.
That's right.
It is amazing.
Oh my God.
It'll knock you out.
Oh my God. Yeah.
This is amazing. Let's reel it in, people. Let's reel it in.
All
right. So we're talking 12 weeks where you've dialed into all of this.
Yes. Life.
You're going through life.
Yes.
You get them conscious and intentional about what they want.
Yes. And then we move to work.
Now you move to work.
Because I think we should be planning, like your life
It's an integral piece, but it's just a piece.
It's just a piece. Just a piece.
So where do you start with the work aspect of it? What's the first question
then we start asking, okay, what is it now that you understand exactly where you want to be in life? Does your work model actually fit your life model? Because most of us don't, those things we make work and then we do life, right?
Yeah.
I'm completely opposite. So now is this model, we got this established. Your family, you're good. You know exactly what you want. And cool thing about this model is that it can change. Your life right now, if you're single and you're having a great time in your life, it's going to look very different than if you get married and have children, right? So that model changes, but you're very clear on what you want your life to be like. No one did that to me.
Yeah, I would have done that to you. I did that with Trey. I wish I would have met you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
no one did that,
and that's it's such an important thing, and people did that with me. And I have this unique talent. One unique talent is I have the ability to hear when you're speaking in your own truth, and I have the ability to call bullshit when you're not.
Correct.
So I would have asked you some hard questions. I would have figured out what works. The one thing you keep saying though, and I want to just like gently push in on that. It's like this work-life balance thing. And I think it causes a lot of like metric dysphoria and people to be upset because we measure ourselves to some abstract goal that doesn't really exist. I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe that you can collapse your identities. Even let me go to the feminine thing for a second as well. I believe you can have your work that suits your life if you're intentional about it. Like, I love my work. But I built it. I didn't love it. I hated it, in fact. I didn't want to be there. And now I love the work I have. And if you told me, here, my practice is worth X dollars, here's a check for 5X, I can't take the money. I can't take it because I just love it so much. So I'm a big proponent of like constructing, like you're saying, constructing your life or your work to suit your life. Additionally, for those women that are listening to here and saying, I feel like I'm a shitty mom because I'm this dentist and I'm pulling in two different directions or work life out of balance. You are a wonderful mother by being a great dentist, entrepreneur, and businesswoman. When you show your children that you get up, mama goes out to work, and mom takes care of all these people, and they get the kids come in and say, wow, mom, this is what you do. You lead these people, or you're a hygienist, you take care of these people. You are being a great mother. So maybe you're not showing up at the soccer game, but you're giving your children another thing. And you had that you were a child of a working mother.
Yeah.
So I think that we suffer inappropriately because we figure out, are we 50% mom, 50% wife, 50% this, and like collapsing all the domains into one.
I think that helpful. Like in life we have to probably be good about 4 things. If you are usually a woman, and this was coming from the conversation with Lean In, the lady that was running Facebook for quite some time.
Okay.
As a woman, you have to be good at, if you're an entrepreneur or a businesswoman or a job, good at your job. Then you have to be, if you're married, a good wife, right? Then if you're a mom, a good mom. And then somewhere in there, you have to be good for yourself, right? It's these 4 things.
It's probably the last thing that gets neglected or whatever.
Well, you can't get an A at all of them at the same time. That's the problem. Like, some of them are going to not be, because it's hard to show up 100% in all of these areas of your life, right? So some of them are going to fall and get a B or a C. And usually it's taking care of yourself that usually you see people kind of,
especially as a mom,
Yeah. So I know I hear people say a lot about can it really be balanced? Well, there's a balancing scale for a reason. I do think that there could be balance. It just depends on what your scale looks like, maybe different than mine, right? So when we're talking about balance, it doesn't mean that me and your balance is exactly aligned, because to me that may be imbalanced. I'm talking about individual balance. What does that look like for you? So for me, balance is working 2 days a week and generating anywhere between 20 to 30K while I'm working. I'm serious about let's figure out how to maximize productivity in that day for myself. I'm also okay that if I don't hit my goal for that month, I'm okay. That's the balance for me. Years ago, that would not have been balance for me. My balance now in my life is I want to have that work. I want to be efficient and effective when I am seeing patients, but trust and believe, I want to play as heavy as I can. So my balance is more on did I have enough time for my friends? Did I have enough time for my family? Because they both can't get it at the same time. So that's where I think balance is really dependent upon who you are and what you want. That's why we ask the questions about life first, because Trey, how your life is set up, Craig, how your life is set up is going to be totally different than my life setup. But are you happy in how that life is set up? I work out on Mondays for almost 3 hours. I lift, I go do cardio, and then I go play tennis. Is that balance to somebody? Maybe not, because that's 3 hours committed to gym. I get up at 4:30 in the morning to go work out.
Wow.
Because my gym person that is crazy, and she locks the door at 5:05. So if you're late and you got up at 4:30, you're pissed. You are pissed because you drove, and she locks the door.
Do you listen to Dave Goggins?
She's inspired clearly by him.
You're giving me Dave Goggins vibe.
Really?
Like, man, I'm like, move. Come on. I don't want to train with you. I never want to work out with you.
Oh, you should see my trainer. She's crazy. She's crazy. She's crazy. And like it's a group, and it's a group of people getting up. Built different. You're just built different, right?
I'm not built like that.
So that's the balance that's in there. Like, but you guys are fit. Like you guys.
No, I know. I just don't want to do the 4:30. Can we make it 6:30?
You can be fit working out at 12:30.
I feel like all the amazing people are just freaking crushing it at the leaders that I've heard or listened to, they're up that early.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
There's a correlation between that.
Yeah.
Between physical fitness and happiness.
The world favors the morning lark for sure. And this is coming from a night owl.
Because thinking about, like, these people are like, what at your phone? What time does your phone start going off?
I just started doing a new thing, though. I put my phone to bed. Yeah.
But what time does it start? Like, people start hitting you up. Like, what time?
I got text this morning at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, mine's about 7. And I protect my mornings.
Right?
I protect my mornings, but I do have my phone there just in case.
But that's when they start popping off, right?
They start popping off.
Don't say the name, but look what time this message came in.
Yep.
You see that one, though? That's kind of cool. Don't say it.
I love it.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, motivation, I was at 1 in the morning, but I saw that at 6 in the morning.
So imagine that person. That's who I want to be in dentistry.
Yeah.
That is really what I'm going after in my mind. I'm like.
Have you done any of that stuff?
I want to.
You should.
I do. So the other person who I love is Brandon Burchard. That's who I was talking about. I like, and I like his stuff too. So it's kind of like when you find these gurus, these amazing people, you're just like, who do I? And these are the coaches that I want to have.
Yeah, you should do it for sure.
Yeah. Like they're beautiful people, and that's what we don't have, I think, enough in our industry.
Yeah, we don't.
I agree.
We don't.
Well, and let me say this though. Look at what you're doing. Look at what you're already doing. Your first part of your program, which we just talked about balance a lot, and each of y'all have said something about balance. My deal with balance is very much balance means kind of what you touched on. If there's 4 things in life, balance means if I do more of this, I can't do some of this, which to some extent is true. But then there's the whole, and this is semantics, but call it integration, and then you have that. It's a little bit of this doesn't have to be less of this, whether it be block the time for 3 hours here and then do this or protect this morning. But there is focus.
Yes.
You can't focus on 4 things. You can focus on 1.
Correct.
So if the other fires burn, but you don't want them to burn all the way down before you switch focus back to the other one. And when you start looking at understanding all of that, there's no right or wrong. It's going through any of the gurus, so to speak. Anybody you look at too as a mentor. Or any sort of coach or any sort of vision that you have or someone that you're modeling after. You take pieces here, you take pieces there. None of them are necessarily right or wrong.
No.
But the implementation of it is exactly what you want.
I agree.
And when you look at kind of what you've touched to, and both of you all have touched to, it's defining what you want.
Yeah.
It's defining what you want and then going and getting it.
And you see those guys, the guys that I want to just touch you because you know him. So let me just let's touch him in the
you
table.
Can rub it right.
That's beautiful.
This hand touched him yesterday.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, Trey, do you mind getting that coffee real quick? I
want
let
me rub it on my face.
For those of you that don't know, they're talking about me. He touched me.
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't say that out loud.
Yes.
But for those people, when you see them, aren't you inspired when you see how they operate? Like when you see.
So this particular person, like behind the scenes, fucking badass. Like wife, presence, thankful, gratitude. There's a lot of people that I've met too. I've had the privilege of meeting that they're one way on stage, and I've read their books. And I'm like, oh my God, the book changed my life. And then I met them. I'm like, oh shit.
And it's disappointing.
Yeah, like you wrote the book on happiness. You wrote the book on this. Like, how are you such a douchebag? Like, what?
I want to give you credit because you are as amazing as I thought you would be.
Oh wow, thank you. About
like
what?
You really are. Like as amazing as I reached out to Trey and I was like, hey, I want to interview. Right, like I want to get to know him. You are as amazing as you are.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So like,
no, I want to acknowledge you. Like you are.
You embody that.
No, but you're like a freaking. The whole time you're talking, like we have to do this more often. We should do a series of talks
because we are your friend.
Yeah, we're officially friends.
I'm a good person.
I am the one that's blessed by this relationship. I have very little to bring. I'm on the backside. I'm 52. Like you're the up and comer.
52.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang on to your coattails. I'm gonna do what I've done to Peter with you. I'm going to invite myself on your podcast.
I will be. Listen, he told you I implement immediately.
Yeah,
just tell me this. I'm like, okay, she's literally going to do it tomorrow.
How are you doing time wise? I want to be respectful of your time.
I am. cool whenever you guys say we're done.
Well, we're coming up on an hour, so this will be a multi-part series.
Okay, well,
if you loved Dr. Simone Ellis, please comment on below. And I think this will be aired on your podcast. So if you like what we had to say, please comment on hers. And we'll make this happen. One thing I do want to say as a little bit of a kind of something not even a rapper, just like something I feel compelled to say, and I've worked with Trey on this a lot. I think that we can get, like when I said that metric dysphoria on work-life balance, I think that there's an obsession with making sure we're happy, and how do we know we're happy? And I want to just drop something because it's been something that changed my life. You can't pursue happiness if you are thinking to yourself, like, is everything in balance? Am I a good mom? Am I a good wife? Am I a good husband? How am I doing? Like, and when you start studying happiness, it's like it evades you, because what you're really looking for, and this is not mine, so I don't want to take credit for it, but I forgot who the fuck told it to me. But what we're all seeking in life is peace, where we are. We're all looking at each other in the eyes. We're all engaged in a beautiful conversation. I got goosebumps just talking about it. I'm sorry, I'm woo-woo. But like, we're in flow. We're connected to each other. This is a peaceful moment. This is where happiness kind of slips in. You don't know it because we're not seeking it. We're in connection. We're in flow with each other. There's peace here, and happiness shows up. And I think there's a big problem because people are trying to quantify their happiness. I go on Instagram, I'm like, shit, that motherfucker's there. I can't believe what am I doing here? That's better than my life. And then instantly, happiness is gone.
Yeah.
So if you can put the phone away, if you can exercise, if you could just try to cultivate peace, being alone, you will be happy.
I want to add to this. I also think that we forget that the journey is also the destination too, right?
That's forgotten all the time.
Yep. And so there's happiness in that too.
Right.
I am not where I want to be. Let's be very clear.
Really?
But I'm everywhere I should be.
Okay.
I enjoy that. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Help me understand that.
I just told you where I want to be. I want to be that person.
Right, but
she wants to be in the journey.
Right, but can you be happily achieving versus achieving so that you're happy?
No. So what I mean by that is not that I'm not happy though doing that. I don't think that it takes away from having goals and aspirations. And if I never get there, I'm still okay. Okay. The difference is that this moment right now, I'm happy.
Good.
Yesterday's moment, I was happy. Right. I'm literally happy on all the things that are starting to align to get me to wherever I am supposed to go. Because I know that I'll do the work. Right. But that's not going to question. I'm going to do the steps. I'm going to put in as my favorite Atomic Habit. I love my book. My favoriteest book in the whole favoriteest book in the whole world is Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yeah, I never read it. I got to read that shit.
You got to read it. Yeah. And it's, I mean, if you're a nerd like me, like the science portion behind, like just the small things about habits, you'll love it. Because the Lakers story, have you guys watched the winning team on Max?
No, I'm like, I don't do anything.
Oh, my God.
Lakers story. Just send me a text.
The winning team. I'm going to send, now that I got your cell phone number, shout out to me.
Winning team, Atomic Habits.
These are so great.
But and the beautician that we're talking about. Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Got you. Yeah, all these little small steps that lead to the final destination, we're enjoying those moments. So that's why I say to add to that is everything that you said, spot on. And the happiness portion is just the journey part of it, too. We don't know where some of us will have a long journey where we'll get to say goodbye. Others, it'll come at a blink and we won't even know we're gone. That literally could happen, right? Mm-hmm. I have spent way too much time in my life not having the happiness because I was always trying to get to the next spot. Now I'm like, I'm everywhere I'm supposed to be. Good. It doesn't mean that I'm want to stay here, but I'm everywhere I'm supposed to be, and I'm so happy that I'm here.
It's presence. Good for you.
It's presence.
Yeah.
You're present in the moment.
How would I have known that meeting Trey years ago would have brought me to this moment?
Sure.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to go through shit like meeting Trey to get to the greatness of meeting each
other. I really feel bad for y'all.
Yeah, whatever. You know I love you, Trey.
No, I'm the quiet voice of reason.
So he was part of Bulletproof. He joined as a mastermind client, and we worked together. And
I love that.
Yeah, and then he's just started getting really he grew beyond needing any resourcefulness, and he became a resource himself. I'm like, damn, you
I wouldn't say I grew beyond needing.
Well, I'm just saying you grew a lot, and you have a lot to say. So Trey is just on the podcast. We do this thing called the Fearsome Foursome. And it's Trey and Dwight Pecora, two guys from Texas, joining Peter and I, and breaks up the banter between Peter and I.
I love that.
So it's been really cool, and he helps out with the mastermind, and it's really neat. Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, and it's exactly what you're doing. It's a way to give back. it's a way to connect with people and move them along whatever their journey may be.
Yeah, you can only see so many teeth, and like you got to have extensions of. Right. That's what I say. Like my associates or the people that I'm touching, I'm like, girl, I can only do so many teeth, right? But where my impact in dentistry will always be is the people that have now learned something from me and now are impacting others. I am an extension of you.
I appreciate that.
Well, it's always paying it forward. We all have mentors.
Yeah.
And I think we all have the obligation to then mentor others.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, for sure.
Well, that's the right thing. There's a really good podcast. It's a book as well. It was on Oprah. Just check it out. It's called From Strength to Strength.
Arthur Brooks. Phenomenal.
Arthur Brooks. Holy shit.
I'm downloading it now,
you're going to love that because
that's right down your alley.
So it's like the basic premise is like in the beginning you were a dentist, right?
Yeah.
And you learned it, you mastered it, you got really good at it, you had a very successful practice. So kudos to you for that.
You said what's the name of that one?
Strength to Strength.
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey. That's my ADD. I got to get done in like 20 minutes. So you could read the book, but I'm just going to do that.
I love it.
So anyway, and then the next level, the next curve of your career happens in your 40s. Like something happens to your brain even, they said. And now it's time to just give it all back. So you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You just knew it in your heart to do this.
Yeah.
And, you sold the practice and you're going to be out of the practice by the time this airs. And it's all exactly how it was meant to be. Exactly. It went exactly how it's supposed to be.
And let's be clear, I had fear. I still have fear.
Over what?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because here's the thing. I knew exactly at 7 I wanted to be a dentist. We talked about this, right?
You're a dentist. The dentist is a dentist forever. When you go to a cocktail party, they're like, hey, what about that? Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
You're a dentist everywhere.
I did a reel
like you're a
on that
proctologist.
Too.
No one like, hey, check this out.
Like, please let me be. Like,
what do gynos get that, by the way? Hey, you're a gynecologist.
I've never been like, hey, girl.
Yeah.
Like, just like the whole.
Yeah, but a dentist is always like that.
It's
so you're
crazy.
a dentist forever, and and look at it this way: your interaction was linear, one doc, one patient at a time.
Yeah.
Now you're dealing with multiple docs on this podcast, hopefully reaching thousands of people. So now look at the vicarious impact. You just increased your connections.
Yeah.
So you moved dozens, if not hundreds of thousands of people today, and they're moved to take better care of their patients. So you're still having the patient interaction. You're just leveraging your time to a larger audience.
I agree with that. And I have to get over like the fear of just like, again, you're losing. So my struggle when I realized that was going on was I don't have kids, right? This is my baby. This was my baby. It's graduated. It is now leaving the nest. And there comes separation anxiety that happens there. There comes the fear of letting go, like all the things that I imagine a parent feels when they are sending their kid off to college, right? Or letting it go and letting it do whatever it needs to do so I go to the next level.
Right.
But the other part about this is, and I cannot describe this more than it is in my gut. It is in I feel it so intensely that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
I feel you feeling it. Like seriously, I know that there's no bullshit.
It's like
my radar is like 100%. Like you will be that person.
And so I have to.
You are that person, by the way. You are that person. It's just you're a secret. Everybody's got it. And hopefully today.
She's not that big of a secret.
Well, no one knows about
listen, not everyone knows about you. Hopefully we made some impact.
You're not going to stay a secret for long.
Well, I hope not. And I hope that for anybody else listening to that too, if they feel that whether they're perfecting their craft, whether they're venturing out, dentistry has so many lanes. It's like the Cheesecake Factory. Like you look at that menu and you're like, I could do all of these things. Like dentistry has changed so much. It's no longer where you have to go open a practice and go to work. You can really do some dope stuff in this profession. Exposure, taking time. People are like, how do you have all the time? I don't understand podcasting. I didn't understand it, right? I met my husband actually through a podcast. This is hilarious, right? He owned the podcast company. He wasn't on the podcast. He had a podcast company that he did. This was before the pandemic, where he had over 60 shows, different shows where they would come and tape podcasting. A patient says to me, hey, doc, I think you'd be great on a podcast. I'm like, what is that? I don't want to do that. And he was like, well, yeah, why don't you think about trying it? And I meet my husband because he's curating the show.
Perfect.
Crazy, right?
I love the interconnectedness
how the world works.
How it works.
And I love how you appreciate how the world works. It's such a great reframing and a lens for me to experience your story through your own lens, because it's a real good refresher. A lot of people can change stories into victim. It's really popular right now, by the way. It sucks how popular it is to take the bad and make and amplify the victim out of it. And,
what do you mean?
Meaning it's a popular narrative to say, this is what's happened to me, and because of that, I'm screwed or I can't get ahead. And now you just, every little thing you're saying, you've extracted the divine guidance or the positivity out of it. You reframe everything. And it's beautiful.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, you do.
Because leverage it.
Because right now you could just say like, well, I grew up this way, I grew up that way, and you know how it is. You can't get ahead, or you can't do this, or I lost these things. I lost my father, and then I got on drugs. Whatever it is. You had all these terrible things, and you chose.
On drugs?
I don't know. No, you didn't. I just
Maybe that's the other D.
That's the other D.
Yeah. Oh yes, we figured it out.
We figured it out.
Okay, that's a great place to wrap. By the way.
I was about to
you
say,
didn't get. You
phenomenal.
only didn't do the D. You just needed one more D in your life.
I just needed a D.
You just need a little one more D. You didn't want that D. So that's the thing. So yeah, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just trying.
Right.
Let's bring it back to something serious. You literally had all of them except for that D. And you just said, okay, God, what's in store for me? Like the story of Job, right?
Yeah.
What's in store? What's coming? Is there greatness, goodness coming? Is there a silver light, not light in
There's always darkness and there's always light.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's counter-narrative to do that now because there's support groups for those. And listen, you need support groups. But I just love the idea that you were successful, whatever that means to you, because of what happened, and you see that. So I went and did the podcast not knowing blah, 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 and then boom, this beauty showed up from that. Or this showed up because of that. Or Trey, I met Trey, and because of Trey, this showed up. So you're looking at the long game in life, and it's such a beautiful sentiment. I hope people are listening and learning because there's the long game. I know the thing that happened today seems like it sucks, but God has a plan. The universe has a plan. There's a plan in store for you. Just let it go. You need meaning as a human being. Like, what the fuck does this mean? Is this bad? Is this bad news? No, it's not. Just be patient. Let the lesson come around. And even the bad things reach you to deeper levels.
Oh, God, that's giving me chills.
So it's just that, I think, but that's what you're doing. I'm just observing you. This is not me. This is me being observer of Simone Ellis. And it's just fucking awesome.
I'm just glad I get to be at the table with these guys.
Well, it's great.
Can I just be in your DMs? Like, can I be
like
one of
I think we are.
Hey,
I don't even know what that means, but I like the way that sounds. Yeah.
I'm sliding into all y'all DMs.
Okay, great. That's great. That's how Peter reached out to me. He slid into my DMs.
He slid in.
Yeah. It's like super weird and awkward. Hey,
hey, listen, you gotta
opened right up.
I'm an easy. Anybody slides in anywhere. I like to slide. I haven't slid in a long time. It's like water slides.
No.
I like water slides. When's the last time you on a water slide, by the way? It's amazing.
Apparently, I'm in Disney World.
Let's leave this freaking
black
place.
girls are not like getting their hair wet. Like, you're just like, oh my God, like
that's not true.
This is totally true. Like if I'm gonna get my hair wet, I need to have my beautician appointment right the next day.
Oh, okay, damn.
I don't play.
That's inconvenient. Yeah.
All right.
So when you have your beautician, you tell me when we're seeing her, and you and I are going to.
Then we'll FaceTime you next time I go to hairstyle and be like, hey, babe.
Can we record that? Hey, baby, I got a client for you. It's not like the normal client you have, but he needs your help, baby. Let's just do this. And I'll just come on like, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
She's going to be like, Simone, what is happening?
This is Punker. This has been an absolute freaking highlight of like my weeks. This is so beautiful, and I'm not just saying this because we're recording. I fucking love you. Your energy, your radiance, your presence, your heart. I am such a raging fan of yours.
I love you guys too, and honestly, the world is amazing. Trey, thank you so much for connecting us.
Yeah.
I wanted to see and be a fangirl and see you at the stage. I would have never thought that this would have come out of it, but this has been so much fun.
I'm the fangirl here. I am the fangirl. Let the
so can I be Beyonce or Rihanna? Which one are we rocking with?
Yeah, I gotta know which one you are.
I don't know. I feel like more like Taylor Swift actually.
Okay.
I'm a Swiftie.
Well,
she's like being in the news. I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
No, she's dating. Oh boy,
Kelsey.
I have no idea.
So fine.
Is he really? He's a football player? I have no idea.
That boy is fine.
Right.
I mean, he is fine.
His jerseys have gone through the roof because of all that. That's fantastic.
So Taylor lifted his presence quite a bit.
Yeah,
I think he was already kind of like cool. Like he was already swagged out. But Taylor is a force.
Yeah, she's a force in nature.
Now you have every 10-year-old to 17-year-old girl watching the NFL.
My daughter doesn't like Taylor Swift. We live in a Latin household, so it's all
Aladdin?
like Latina. Like my wife's Puerto Rican.
I thought you said Aladdin. I was like, wait, what?
Aladdin. Yeah, we like Aladdin. We only eat Middle Eastern food, by the way. I love Middle East. Shout out to Cedar's Restaurant. We're going tonight. You want to come with us tonight? What are your plans? We can't let this party end.
I'm going to be at Aladdin, probably at Disney World.
Oh, you're going to Disney tonight?
I'm that girl by myself, and I'm totally okay with
it. Can we just hijack your plans?
I will come eat with you guys.
Okay. Would you really?
Hands down, yes. Okay. I like Middle Eastern food and Aladdin.
Right. And Aladdin. And Aladdin.
So who is your daughter into then?
My daughter's into we speak Spanish in the house. My wife's from the Caribbean. It's a very, very Spanish household. So I don't know the names. I could sing the songs, but I'll embarrass myself even more than I already have.
I love it.
But yeah, it's very, very Latina. So lots of Latina power.
What are your kids doing in there? They're all like, what are the ages? When I met Trey, he didn't have kids. So now that he had 3, I was like, wait, what?
I got a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 9-month-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
There's a lot of dancing in my house. My wife, Puerto Rican, the minute the music comes on, it's just starts moving. Like, just move. Everybody's moving. I'm just
that
like.
means you got some hip movement
yeah,
too.
No,
huh?
I was about to say,
you moving?
No. I'm not really moving. I'm good at, like, I do a chair dancing. Like, I can do, like, chair.
Oh,
but
nice.
it doesn't go down to the hips. My wife is grabbing my hips.
You know what you do, though? That's what you have to do. To get your movement, you grab her hips. And then you just naturally want to move to
No, mine only go one way. They don't go that. Yeah, she wants me to go this way.
He can't turn.
Yeah, I can't turn. I mastered the buccal lingual, just not the musio disc.
Got it. That's perfect.
Yeah. I have a lot of buccal lingual nummies.
We needed a dental joke.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm the audio technician.
It's going south, guys.
No, but I don't want to lose this. It's fucking gold.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to even hit the button. So we got to make sure we do this. But Dr. Simone Ellis, how do people find you?
So I'm on Instagram at Dr. Simone Ellis, and then of course YouTube. My podcast is Beyond the Chair. It is everything that you should be doing to be an amazing human beyond the dental chair. So love to have you guys on as well, because this would be we got to keep this going.
Yeah, this is a new friendship.
That's what I mean. DrSimoneEllis.com. It's very simple.
And shout out to Trey for giving me his reading glasses.
Definitely worth going and checking her out.
Amazing, amazing time. Thank you both. See you soon, guys. Stay bulletproof.